Hello everyone, welcome in my video. For my material encounter reflection, I chose to work with charcoal. At first, I thought of it as just a simple drawing tool, something ordinary and easy to use. But as I began to spend time with it, I realized that charcoal is hard to manage. The moment I picked it up, I felt its texture, soft, dusty, fragile, yet powerful. It did not only mark the paper, it marked me. The black dust stayed on my hands, on my clothes. Pacini-Ketchubo et al., 2016, described charcoal as a continuum, a story, an event, a happening, a doing, always in process, always becoming charcoal, page 34. I began to understand what they meant. Working with charcoal was not just about creating an image, it was about being part of an ongoing process of change and discovery. The material itself invited me to participate. Each time I touched it, the charcoal behaved differently. Sometimes the strokes were smooth and light, and sometimes they were dark and rough. It encouraged me to let go of control and experiment, to move my hands freely, to play. I allowed myself to explore with curiosity, and trust that something meaningful would emerge. The charcoal also responded to me in surprising ways. It darkened where my hand pressed harder and faded where I let go. What went well was the feeling of flow, the natural way the blackness spread and blended. What was challenging was the messiness. The charcoal covered my hands, the table, and even my clothes. But over time, I began to see that this mess was not a mistake, it was part of the experience. The reading explains to touch charcoal is to be touched, to be affected, to be moved, page 38. What became most important to me was learning to slow down and pay attention. I noticed how charcoal interacts with everything, the paper, my fingers. Kimmerer, 2003, reminds us that attentiveness alone can rival the most powerful magnifying glass, page 39. Through attentiveness, I began to see that art is not just about the final picture but about the relationship between the artist and the material, between movement and stillness, between creation and reflection. The atelier experience helped me feel this even more deeply. I noticed how, like the children described in the book, I was learning through my senses rather than through instruction. I was guided by touch, sound, and feeling. If I could change something for next time, I would like to work on a larger surface, maybe on the floor, using my whole body to draw. I was inspired by the story in the reading where children made snow angel marks with their arms and legs on charcoal-covered paper, page 39. I would also like to combine charcoal with other natural materials, like water or leaves, and see how they interact. I have learned that materials have their own ways of speaking. They respond and even teach us if we are willing to listen. Overall, I enjoyed a lot. Thank you so much, Professor, to give us a chance to experience new and different activities.